All right, if you're out on COVID, just so you know how to do the Build-A-Fish, first go to this thing, Google Form Sign In, name, last name, period, and then you're going to flip a coin 3 times. If you don't have a coin, just use this digital one right here. So like, first one requires 3 flips. How do I know that? It's the number in parentheses. Like this will require 3 flips, this will require 2, this will require 2, some of them will require 1. Okay, so it's my first flip, heads, tails, tails. So like I would come in and enter in my form, head, tails, tails. Next I would do color. So again, coming over here to my random coin flipper, 1, so that's heads, tails. So come over here, heads, tails, like that. Once you're done, you click submit and you go back to Google Classroom and then you click on the Build-A-Fish response. Now for you, so if you're absent, you're going to be part of a much larger list. So you're not going to be sorted out by period. Come to this really long list. You'll probably be at the bottom, somewhere right around here. And just in case you forget what your coin flips are. Okay? All right. Now, once you have all your coin flips, go to this guide, get a sheet of blank paper, turn it landscape style. Make sure your fish takes up most of the page, kind of like this. Okay. This tells you what body type to start off with. So if you're like HTT, make sure you draw it like this. If you were something like, HTH, it's more eel-like. What about color? So this tells you what kind of color you had. I would save this to the very end. Pelvic fins, again, don't draw all these fins, just draw the pelvic fin that matches. So for example, this is the pectoral, that's the pelvic on this one if you got HH. If you got something like TH, well then this one doesn't have a pelvic fin. You leave it blank basically. Then move on to your pectoral. So if you get like HHH, you're going to have sort of this long pointed pectoral fin. Maybe you have HTT, which is a broad and enlarged fin, or maybe you got tails, 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 in which case you got this really like almost wing-like pectoral fin. And then you just keep building your fish, building your fish, building your fish until you get to the very end. The one thing it won't have are going to be spines. You do have to get a little creative. So like if the mouth is pointing downward but you have teeth, yeah, you're going to have to get a little creative with that. So just use your best judgment. And the end product of all this is going to look something like what I'm putting up on the screen. So again, could end up looking something like this. You can add in scales if you want. Could end up looking something like that. Something like that. And yes, this was not my mistake. Some of them are going to have eyes on the same side. Okay. Normally it's like you're looking at this sideways. Not all of them are going to have these barbs like this one. See, this one doesn't have it. Okay. So color it in, cut it out. If you're just using counter shading, you can just use pencil or like a dark colored pencil for the top versus the bottom.